This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix. This is Brother Mike, back in Arizona. Welcome to the HardcoreChristianity.com. Back on the radio. Thank you for tuning in. Today's Bible study. TV Preacher Survey. You'll be interested to hear the results of this. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? Got an interesting one for you today. I'll make some announcements when you make that call. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. Been a counselor for over 40 years. Been on the radio for over 20 years. Thanks to you, by the way. Thank you for tuning into the program. If you go to the website, hardcorechristianity.com, you'll see all of our ministry services. I wanted to remind you about the Wednesday night Zoom deliverance service with Brother Rick and the team, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Wanted to remind you of Tuesday night Zoom service for the ladies, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time with Sister Julie. When you go to the website, please plan on coming to one of our children deliverance services and one of our women's seminars. My monthly training class is the fourth Saturday of the month. Thanks for hitting the PayPal button when you come to the website. Thank you for your donations for the last 20 years. May God bless you for that. And please remember my Sunday morning podcast at 9 o'clock Pacific time, and our two live services Thursday and Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time. The Sunday morning podcast, you just go to twitch.tv and hit HCCADC and you're there. TV Preacher Survey. As you well know, over the years, I've always kept you updated on the Barna surveys and the Lifeway surveys and other ones, different ones I've used over the years. Kind of gives you an idea. Not a specific one, and it's not etched in stone. These things aren't divinely inspired, obviously. But it gives you an idea of a little bit of an idea of what the flavor of America is in the Christian world. And that's where you and I live, at least part-time anyway. We're in the Christian world. Hopefully you're in it full-time, but if not, I love you anyway. Check this out. Barna survey came out, a week and a half ago or so? Here it is. Fascinating material about Christianity. 2/3 of Americans have positive opinions about Jesus Christ, spirituality, and the Bible. According to the study, 71% of Americans have a positive view of Jesus. 65% positive towards spirituality. 63% positive toward the Bible. Those numbers are higher than I would have anticipated, so I'll have to admit I was wrong about that. However, on the other side, the survey noted 26% have a favorable view of evangelicals. 26% have a favorable view of worship bands. And 26% have a favorable view of Christian celebrities. Okay, that I could have predicted. Then it says it drops. It's 17% have a positive view about celebrity pastors and megachurches. Can you imagine that? Megachurches came in last at 16%. 16%. There's a group out there called the Truth for a New Generation. It's run by a guy named Dr. Alex McFarland. He took a look at the survey and made a couple of comments that I thought was interesting. You can get them off their website. But I pirated them here for you. Dr. McFarland goes, quote, I have worked with many megachurch pastors, a few of them who are truly godly people, but most are self-absorbed, self-seeking, egomaniacal, and just plain insufferable, he said. Likewise, he thinks many megachurches have lost their way. When big, he said, becomes corporate, and when excellence becomes slick, and when high visibility becomes celebrity, that's what turns people's stomachs, unquote. He said, quote, "It's fine for people to know who a certain Christian is, but it's tragic when they don't know who Christ is." The survey went on to show that Christianity itself, in general terms, got a 57% positive opinion rating. Then, surprisingly, local churches only had a 47%, and Christian pastors or priests only had 44%. So what this survey, generally speaking, is saying is that people, when you're just talking about the Lord Jesus and their general impressions of him, they are positive. And when you're talking in general terms about spirituality and religion, in general terms, people are positive toward it. But when you break it down to local churches and pastors, the positivity ratings go down. And then when you head over to the television set and you watch the mega churches and the mega pastors and the celebrity pastors, the positive ratings tank. It tanks. And the reasons for that are obvious. Number one is church scandals. Number two is celebrity Christians from Hollywood. Okay, these people get on television and they use their, quote, platform, unquote, as a movie star or a billionaire or something of that nature. They use it to spout positive religious stuff. And these people that get on TV, they're not born-again Christians, but they're God fans. Or they may be fans of America. So they go, God bless America. So they tie in God to America. They tie America into God. You know, a textbook example would be Denzel Washington. Here's a guy that spouts off all about family values and God. He doesn't talk about Jesus, but he's a big God fan and so on. And then if you watch one of his movies, you literally have to count the number of people in the movie who don't get shot. How many people in the movie are not going to get shot? And if you start counting all of his movies, it's in the minority. It's in the minority. Okay. Then you have all these other celebrity Christians. They get out there, they talk about God. Some of them, very few of them, but some of them talk about Jesus. And, oh my gosh, then they're involved in a scandal. And what do all scandals amount to? Let's take a thought about that for a second. Oh, I got it. It's either one of two things, sex or money. In Hollywood, if you give people who have seared consciences and who are low rent, moral people whose morality is extremely low. Paul called it a seared conscience. The Greek word is kateriazo. It means to have your conscience cauterized so that it is inflexible or hardened and doesn't work anymore. Now, your conscience is God's internal lifeline and love letter to you. It's designed to keep you out of trouble. And your conscience goes off when you're doing something wrong or someone else is doing something wrong or you're around someone, you know, that has demons and you get kind of this sense or this icky feeling about. That's your conscience working. That's God's internal system telling you, hey, you know, something's wrong here. You better run for it. Take care of yourself. Watch it. Be careful. But when you go to Hollywood, and all these people, virtually 99% of everybody that works in Hollywood, has a seared conscience, but they're big God fans. They can lead so many people astray you can't even believe it. Kanye West was another perfect example. When he first came out as a Christian, he got involved in the lust-ridden, demon-infected Hillsong system, which is a national disaster here. That's the church that started in Australia. It's loaded with lust demons, and you've seen the scandals that followed. I warned everybody when Kanye West came out as a Christian 3 years ago, and same thing with Justin Bieber. As soon as Justin Bieber came out as a Christian, I warned everybody on the radio constantly, hey, these people are not real. They're from Hollywood. They're from the music industry. And this is an industry, these are industries that have seared consciences. They're immoral people masquerading as moral people. They like religion, they like God, they like Christianity sometimes, but they're all frauds. None of them are real. Okay? Politicians, the same way. They come out, God this, God that, America this, God bless America. All of it is a fraud. There's no such thing as a born-again politician. That's what we call an oxymoron. That's what we call an oxymoron. Okay? You cannot lie for a living and be a Christian. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. That's unscriptural. It's a fraud. You cannot run around talking about God, telling everybody how much you love Him, and then make a movie where people are being raped, murdered, and shot from one end of the film to the other. I'm sorry. I don't want to burst your bubble today. Sorry about that. You can send me an email and yell at me, Mike@hardcorechristianity.com. But listen, we've got to get back to reality in this sick country. And this survey from Barna clearly shows you that the general public sees through these mega church frauds. They're on TV. They're raking in the dough. They're doing it for themselves. They're all multimillionaires. They all want to be celebrities. They all want to be up in the big time. Their dream is to be a billionaire. And these people are satanic tools used to fool the masses. They're sheep collectors. And they bring the sheep in the barn, then they collect the wool off of them. They keep the wool for themselves. They put the sheep in the yard to freeze to death. What's this Barna survey telling us? Be careful. See you next time.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.